everyone, and welcome back to Millennial and Mom. We are very excited because we are here taping after 3 months. Mom is feeling better, and we're here to record our very own Married at First Sight. This is our 3rd season doing this. Can you believe that?
I don't believe it, but Mom is feeling energized today.
You speak in third person.
Yeah, Mom is feeling energized today, so we're making a video instead of going live. But yeah, 3 seasons, and you know what? I don't know how confident I am about this season because I see a few mismatches.
Well, you always see a few mismatches.
Yeah, I do, but I mean, especially in the very beginning when your groomsmen are looking like...
Hey, we'll get into that in a little bit. But first, this is Married at First Sight, Season 13, Episode 2, technically, even though they had like 4 or 5 other episodes before this.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to go ahead and jump into our first couple that we've seen get married, Val and Johnny. And that's actually your couple, Mom.
That is a couple to watch. One, because like I mentioned in our live, that they are a traditional Asian American Pacific Islander couple, and we have.
Well, you don't have to see all the acronyms. They're Vietnamese. We know what they are now.
Still, that's what they represent,
mm-hmm.
and you know that is something new on this show and this season, and what they represent, their family values and traditions, I think will be something to watch for this episode and this entire season of Married at First Sight,
mm-hmm.
because I just want to know how they're going to mix and match, and they're both so set in their ways. You know, that I don't know who's going to bend first. I personally think it's going to be Johnny.
Of course it is. He said it was going to be him. We already know that. But get into their wedding. What did you think about their wedding?
I think their wedding was interesting, especially when she came down the aisle and was like, Johnny?
I know, at first it kind of seemed like she was disgusted. Like, she knew who he was and she weren't feeling him. But turned to find out that she actually likes him.
Yeah, likes him. And the thing is, I'm surprised that Johnny still went ahead with that wedding because he's so into what his parents think. And his dad was like, nope, I'm not into this. But he decided he was going to do it because he's like, you know, this is my life and I might happen to find my soulmate. So at the end of their traditional wedding, I thought it was interesting when they sat down and talked with each other and talk about how, you know, they were swiping left and swiping right and all that stuff. So
wait, their traditional wedding? Which one do you mean?
The one from last week when they sat down afterwards, not the tea ceremony from today.
Okay.
And we're talking about, you know, have you been on dating apps? We're like, yeah, I've been on dating apps, stuff like that. So, and they're like, so did you ever swipe left or right? And she was like, well, you know, I kind of saved you. I didn't like pick you, nothing like that. So I thought
she put him in the archives.
I thought that was interesting. But today's episode, when they did the tea ceremony, because Val says that's what she really wanted, and they both actually came out almost wearing, I thought they were wearing the same color. It was red and gold, and his was like crimson and gold or something.
When you're two people who are very picky and specific, they know the difference between red and red wine.
Okay. But yeah.
It was cute. I did enjoy that they brought their own culture to it, and that they both wanted to do it.
Yes.
That was a good match.
Right, and to bring the families together, and it's kind of a little sad that Johnny's dad didn't want to participate, but I get it.
He might come around a little bit.
He might, you never know.
I think this couple might be fate. I think so.
I don't know, but when she said that they met 15 years prior at the University of Houston, you know, they were both doing different things and how they met before, I was like, okay, so maybe, you never know, come around full circle.
It was. I'm loving them so far. I really see that.
I still say, from our lives, that's the couple to watch.
All right. Well, now let's go into a couple you weren't really 100% feeling.
Well,
Michaela and Zach.
Well, I wasn't 100% feeling Michaela and Zach because I think Zach wants to be married at first sight because I think he feels like he's the third wheel of the brothers because one is engaged, one is in a long-term relationship, he's never been loved, and he wants exactly what his brothers have and his parents who've been married for 28 years have. And I think he wants it now, and I think a little bit Zach feels like, or it comes across like it's competitive to me, and I don't necessarily care for the attribute. Now, he seems like a nice young man, he seems like he knows what he wants out of life, but I don't think this is the reason to get married because you see your brothers in a long-term committed relationship. I just don't think so.
I thought he had another reason. I thought it was because, you know, he wanted to be in love. He was tired of dating around. Or was that everybody?
That's everybody.
Does everyone say that?
Yeah.
I was actually happy with this couple. At first, I didn't really know, but they seemed to mesh really well, and Michaela was so happy. I don't think I've ever seen a female bride be that happy and that giddy. She was making me smile. I was like, aw, Michaela. I was really happy.
No, I can't say that. I think she came across a lot extra at the meetup from when we met her. You know, meet the couples all the way up to the wedding day, all the way to the altar, after the wedding, all of that.
But what did she say at the altar you didn't like?
Oh, your name is Zach? Zach or Zachary? Oh, you want a Zach Jr.? I'm like, okay, being a little too forward. I thought so.
Hey, well, I think this couple might make it along. You think there could possibly be the couple that has a little issue? I don't see it. I don't see it.
I see a few couples having issues, personally. But I think that her personality, just like another couple we'll talk about later, is so much stronger than his. He's so much laid back that I think there could be a clash with that. Because even her own sisters said that, you know, Michaela, whatever the terror, Michaela, she's so stubborn and this and that. And that was even in her vows. And, you know, she even co-signed that, like, you know, if he doesn't, pretty much if he's not with the program, he can get out of here. And I'm thinking, okay.
Well, I like them so far.
Okay.
Let's hop on to someone I know you not feeling. And what it seems like on these streets, a lot of people aren't feeling either. Mirla and Gill.
She's
so, you know, before you dig into her,
okay,
why does Meredith First Sight keep showing us scenes we've already seen before? Just get to the wedding. This is what we're here for.
Just get to all the ways. Is my hair, my eyes, is me.
You look good, girl.
Girl, I don't know. But anyways, she's very contradictory. And let me tell you something. First impressions, especially on this show, but in general, says a lot.
It does.
She's contradictory because, you know, in her package, she's like, you know, I like to shop. I want Botox. I want to look like J-Lo when I'm 50. She's 34, but that's what she said. And, you know, this and that. And versus Gil, he doesn't want someone that's materialistic and this and that. And I'm thinking, first of all, this is a mismatch. And just the things that she was saying just put me off. And I don't know if my mind could be changed with her, but she did say something when we get to the meet and greet after they got married that I'm like, okay, I'll give you a small something for that line, but that's it.
But you know what, with Gil, I kind of think he might be not as, you know, well, of course he's not materialistic as Mirla, but has some of those attributes too, because he wanted to walk down the aisle and have someone to catch his eye too, not like a like it's you.
Right, well, everyone wants someone to catch their eye. I mean, that's what they all say, even
I'm
though...
just saying, you gotta talk about Mirla, you gotta talk about...
No, but even though you're matched on paper, I'm really tired of saying this every season. You're matched on paper, you're not matched off of someone that you see. So for them to be like, oh, I hope I'm attracted to him, how would the next person know what you're attracted to? You can say blonde hair, blue eyes, brown hair, brown eyes, tall shirt, whatever. But they can only guess you're matched on paper. But
well,
I digress.
She specifically did say she didn't want nobody bald.
Well, he's bald. He's in shape. He's a firefighter. You know, I think that they may connect on the Latin roots that they have together. And I'm trying to give her props here a little bit. In a little way, her philanthropy, what she wants to do with children, because I think he's part of that too. He wants to give back because they both come from backgrounds where they didn't have much.
Yeah.
So.
Also with Mirla, see, I don't 100% have a problem with someone being picky, but if you're so picky and you're so set in your ways, and like she likes to say, you know, I'm not changing my lifestyle for anyone. If you're not trying to bend or fold, why are you on the show?
Exactly.
You gotta bend or fold just a little bit. Like, no one's saying you can't do nothing that you do ever again. But if you're with someone and they're like, hey, you know, for Gil, he's not as materialistic as she is. He wants to do something a little cheaper sometimes. I don't think that's gonna be a positive.
Well, you know, and then when they said their vows, you know, her vows was...
I liked his vows.
I said, when they said their vows, I said her vows.
I know, but I said I liked his vows too.
I liked his vows somewhat. They were nice-ish. But her vows and what her friend said about her, and she was like co-signing that, like, yeah, with red bottoms, yeah, I donate clothes dressed up in designer wear and stuff like. I'm like, who does that? Seriously, who does that? It's almost like, you know, oh, here, have these.
Well,
these
is she supposed to be dressed down?
I'm not gonna say dressed down, but you don't come in your 9s or your 10s or whatever. I mean, this is not the Real Housewife of Beverly Hills where you're filming a show. Well, technically you are, and you're supposed to look a certain way, and then that's where you donate clothes to underserved, because they all come and look like that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, fact checking that stuff. And did you see the groomsmen faces? Because my face was like that too.
And I got his name, Charlie. Charlie was not with the Odell Beckham hair, because, you know, she said she wants someone tall, dark, and handsome, like Odell Beckham. He wasn't feeling her at all. And side note, we forgot to mention this part. When she was getting her makeup done, of course she was telling.
So she says.
Of course she was telling the makeup stylist what to do, but it's like, girl, you get Botox, you get eyelashes, you don't do anything else.
Maybe she don't want anything on her face. There's people who don't wear makeup, but I mean, just the way that she comes across. And remember before when we met her and she had all her pictures of her, like, it looked Instagram-ish up there. I mean, hey, I don't know, but I will say this again. Her first impression, I really doubt she changes my mind, honestly.
You know what? When they were having their conversations in the back, I was like, I can kind of see them working.
You can't. I'm not saying they're not going to work. I just said she's not going to change my impression of her just by the things that she's saying. She just comes across overly and extra, way extra than Michaela. But one thing she did say that I'm going to give her props for, again, like I said, the philanthropy and what she wants to do for underserved children. And I did like that part about her personality. That's the only thing so far.
I think they're going to come back around just like Miles and Karen did in
see.
season 11. Okay, so let's move on to Brett and Ryan. Of course, we see them both at the bridal shop. He's getting his tux done. Everything that we already seen, just with a little bit extra conversation. But with this conversation with Brett and from Ryan, what I was getting from it is, I don't think they need to be married. I think they both need counseling. Because even Pastor Cal was saying, you know, they're both very sensitive, which we can get, because Brett, she really wants to be married. It kind of seems like her life depends on it at this point. And I'm like, girl, chill out. It's what she said.
I mean, both of their lives seem like that, because he said his timeline, Brett's timeline failed because he thought he would be a dad and married at 20, maybe not 20, like 25, 30. Now he's 35. It's like, oh, I hope this time I can get married. But hey, you've been a serial dater, which means you haven't been really committed to anyone in particular because you were a serial dater.
Right, and I'm just like, two very sensitive people like that, clearly they need to work on themselves. And I honestly see this couple being the couple that's just gonna be doomed.
Let me tell you something that I've noticed this season so far. All the women seem to have the more dominant personality. They seem to be more expressive and more out there with their feelings and what they want and stuff like that, versus the men, once again, this season, laid back. Because the men were laid back last season too. And they're laid back again this season as well.
Maybe it's their new formula they want to do.
Could be.
Do you have anything else on Brett and Ryan? Because we didn't get to see their wedding yet.
Not yet, but I think that Brett, her personality is going to be too much for Ryan. I think so. And I think that
he's going to push her away, in my opinion.
I don't know if he'll push her away, but I think that he will tune out.
Definitely. I can see it. This is not the couple. Let's go to the last couple. Jose and Rachel. What do you think about them so far?
You know, listen, I think Jose, his message, how he wants it perceived, his delivery is completely wrong. I can understand that you would want the opposite of you, like being as successful as you, wanting the same things, have the same goals, stuff like that. But it's how he's saying it and how he comes across. And pretty much, he's like, if she's not like that, then pretty much she could kick rocks. So I'm thinking, why are you on the show? Why are you on the show if you have, like he said personally, he said he has a laundry list of things that he gave the experts. Nobody matches up with a laundry list of what's on your checklist. It's just not going to happen. They may do like 51% more than the majority, but everything is not going to be there. And if he's that picky,
he shouldn't be on the show. Because the experts sure not going to give it to you. We've seen that time and time again. And if they watch the show, they would know too. Because it's been evident on it. But my thing with Rachel is, I'm sure that this is the woman who just got out of a relationship a few months ago. So she was like, I'm tired of being single. I've been going to baseball games by myself. I'm doing this by myself. I'm like, girl, first of all, it's been a few months. Calm down, chill out. Not that
I just don't understand why experts put people on the show who've been in a relationship, their past relationship is less than 1 year ago.
I don't know. I can't tell you why, because I don't even see them being a match, because they don't really have too much in common besides
they have
longing for someone.
All the couples are longing for somebody, but they have sports in common, and they have the family connection in common.
I remember.
But because Jose is so picky, he even said picky, that she has to be XYZ, and I think Rachel is much more free-flowing. ABC. She's much
XYZ.
She's much more free-flowing and go with the flow, versus Jose is like structured. I don't know, honestly. It's hard to pick. That's why I didn't on our live who might make it, because I think all but maybe one couple is mismatched. Honestly, it has to, for me, it's definitely going to go week to week. I'll give my maybe it looks like there's a twinkle or sparkle or something, but right now I can't, because I honestly would say no to 4 out of 5.
But I do want to give Rachel her kudos, because she did say she lost X amount of weight. She's feeling good about herself.
Right.
This is the best time to be single, if you ask me, but she want to be married. So hopefully it goes good for them and all the couples.
Yeah.
Of course, we got 3 out of the 5 weddings. So we're going to have to wait for that until next week. I'm excited to see the reception, because that's where everything goes down, especially with Mirla and Gil's friend. It wasn't Charlie, it was somebody else.
Not just friend, probably all the groomsmen. They're going to be out in the, we seen that before, go out in the back, be like, you heard what she said? Because he was like, oh, so you're high maintenance. I was like,
there's nothing wrong with being high maintenance, but it's like you said earlier, it's about her delivery, how she's coming across, and it's coming across like,
no,
I don't see the word.
It weren't her delivery, that was Jose's delivery. I just think
for me, it's Mirla.
Okay.
We will be back next week with another video with other weddings and the receptions. I'm excited. Mom, are you excited?
I guess. But what I want to know is where they're going to go for the honeymoon, because to me, the honeymoon is where everything
They should go back to Vegas. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the rest of your week.
And as always, live simply, be grateful.